Greetings and aloha. What's going on? It's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com along with
Robbie from Walking in My Shoes, Thailand.
Hello. And
Well,
we are
good.
collectively the spot, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right, the spot. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. So 8 o'clock Bangkok time, 6 o'clock California time, and in Boston we are
9 a.m., ladies and gentlemen.
9 a.m. And then I am live in the Philippines, and it is not. And you guys, what's funny is I just now had to look to see what time it was. It is 9:01 p.m. So welcome to our show, and we don't have an official name yet, so we're calling it the Spot Talk Show, I guess, right now. And
We are.
I don't even know what we're gonna call this. So we're doing some cool, fun stuff, and yeah, thank you for joining in, whoever has joined in.
Oops. What did you just put up there? So here's another thing, guys. So if any of you watch my shows, you know that there's always like this neat sort of little geeky technology piece that happens along with it. So Robbie and I right now are like messing around with this, our in-browser solution. And so Saved is a T-shirt Philippines brand. Is that what you're wearing right now? You're wearing a Saved T-shirt?
That's right. I am not wearing my Saved T-shirt. So just so you guys know, Saved T-shirt brand is by a group of young Filipinos who, by the way, I am here with not right this second, but I've been with all day long. You guys will get a chance to view my videos on Walking in My Shoes. I will be shooting a video about this group of awesome young people, and Saved is their branded T-shirt brand, which you can only buy in the Philippines, but I want to give them a huge shout out. They are great branders. And what's cool about them is one of the team leader, Shaquille, like Shaq baby.
There you go.
I know. Huge shout out for Shaq. He's one of their designers for the Saved product. But what's even cooler, he was one of the designers for the Spot.
Yeah, he did the mighty logo over there. I'm gonna get more accurate with my point thing. You can point there, or I can just like that. There we go. Look at what up, technology? How you doing there?
That is cool. So you guys, if you guys want to leave a chat in the comments, if you did good, you did bad, maybe Shaq's watching right now. If he isn't, he's going to watch later. So if you're watching, buddy, great job. And I just want to give him a huge shout out. And you guys, part of this station is about you guys. It's about the people who are watching this, the people who are going to watch it. It's about the sponsors of this program. Mike and I had a great conversation. We really want to grow this for you guys. So, Mike, if you don't mind for about a minute here, basically this channel, and help me if I'm wrong, is about, for me, I'm an expat wanting to live abroad from the United States, and I'm on my journey, and Mike guiding me through my journey, and you guys are going to witness through here on the Spot, and we're going to end up being a regular 8 o'clock morning show. Don't have a date yet, but Mike, go ahead if you want to key in on that. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Thanks, Robbie. So what this is sort of it's a living document, if you will, right? And so Robbie and I met months ago, and there was this sort of platform that I kind of
met on Tinder. Yeah, Tinder,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Well, I swiped left, but you swiped right twice, and so therefore it canceled it out. And I was just like, oh my God, this guy's got amazing hair like me. And so we thought, okay, well, that's kind of a neat thing. And then we said, no, let's come up with our own better version. And so basically the Spot, while it is a sort of metamorphosis from what Kiss FM Pattaya 91.75 FM radio station was, in the sense that it plays fun music, we're going to be doing a whole lot more here. And like you said, it's not like that radio station was on YouTube before, for example. And so Robbie and I are going to do this morning show. And as he mentioned, our goal is 8 a.m. Bangkok time on Saturdays, simply because that was the more common suggestion by you guys. And so we're going to do that. Robbie's now in the Philippines. I'm in the Boston area right now. And then soon we're going to be switched on different sides of the world. But the point is, as Robbie mentioned, there's enough people. And when I started my YouTube channel like years ago, I thought, okay, I've done all of this stuff. Everybody's done all this stuff. Everybody knows how to wake up in the morning. They have a list. They're going to move to Thailand, and they're going to be there in less than 30 days. Not the case. Everyone's got their own path. And the neat thing is that I can sit here and I can talk about my path and what happened like 5 years ago. But Robbie's doing it right now. And the beauty of that is that you guys are going to be able to listen to his experiences. I'm going to be able to share some of my historical experiences, as well as my current travel in Southeast Asia. But he's also going to be able to be like, guys, I just did this right now. Important safety tip. Whatever you do, when you're entering the Philippines, now that COVID is sort of over, in fact, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. I've also been to the Philippines, as you guys know. If you don't know, my wife is Filipina. I met her in Boracay, Philippines, which is arguably the most awesome place there. And she and I have been together, but we both basically live in Thailand, you know? So, like, how did I convince a Filipina to move to Thailand? How is Robbie potentially going to convince his his Thai wife his Thai girlfriend? I don't mean to get a hold of myself. Kitty, if you're watching, trust me, it's an interesting idea, but just pause there for a second. Yeah. Just
Take a deep breath, Kitty.
Deep breaths, Kitty. How is he going to convince his Thai girlfriend to travel with him to potentially the Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, and that sort of thing? So that's a long answer, and I know that there's going to be even longer answers as we go, as more people ask us questions. But I did want, speaking of my wife, I wanted to say hi, honey. That's her pen name, Gracie Lacosera. Aloha, and also Daniel. Aloha and mahalo for coming by. Thank you very much, my friend. If you guys don't know, we're actually streaming on LiveMyAssOff.com. We're streaming on LiveMyAssOff YouTube. We're streaming on Walking in My Shoes Thailand on YouTube. We're also streaming on The Spot on YouTube, as well as Facebook. We're going to be streaming in LinkedIn too, and that's going to be starting next week, actually. So there's a lot of platforms out there, and at the end of the day, our goal is to pretty much be having everybody on The Spot long term, right?
So if you haven't subscribed to The Spot YouTube, we really would appreciate it. We're going to fully launch this in the next few weeks with The Spot radio, online radio. Of course, guys, I'm probably butchering it. I butcher lots of things, by the way, which you guys, if you watch my videos,
which is
I'm the butcher. So again, this isn't only about Thailand, but the focus is people who are looking at expatting over. How do you travel? What do you do? How much does it cost? So on my channel, Walking in My Shoes Thailand, it is all about that, but it's a little bit more. I'm going to show you guys from the bar scene to girls and living your best life, to get you guys to encourage to come to The Spot and really walk in my shoes. And it took people like Mike and several YouTubers that I binge watched the heck out of to get me to do that. So hopefully you guys can follow along, have a great experience with us. And in this show, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. So I'm on what they call location. Right?
Boots on the ground, ladies and gentlemen.
Boots on the ground. So when I'm in Pattaya, Thailand, I'm going to be right there with a lot of you expats that are hopefully watching this. Mike's going to be right there in Bangkok. And the goal is I'm going to travel around and we're going to find out, where would you rather be? Just like this show right now, we have right here in good old Manila, Philippines.
Yeah, so
we don't. Yeah,
let's
and
talk
then we
about
have Bangkok.
That, right? So we're I mean, again, sort of the catchy title, if you will, was and I'm also going to put this link for you guys in the chat. So anyone, no matter where you're watching, you're going to get a link to our to The Spot Thailand. We'd really appreciate you to subscribe, and then of course hit the bell so that you'll get reminded and updated and that sort of thing. So with Robbie currently in Manila, we were thinking, okay, let's do a Thailand versus the Philippines. So I'm obviously not physically in Thailand, but I have a lot of experience in Thailand, as does he. But Robbie, what I wanted to do is I wanted to start, I think, with like how you got there. In other words, like physically you flew in. Okay, anyone can do that. But I mean, what was it like getting there right now? Mask on, mask off, tests, that sort of thing. So walk us through, like, a few days before you left, any prep work you needed to do, or did you just buy a ticket and take us to where you're now sitting in a lobby of a 5-star hotel?
And I'm going to show you that lobby here in just 2 seconds there. So, okay, guys, so this is kind of what happened. I came across, you guys know my goal to live in Thailand, and I have to do business. I have half of my team who are Filipinos, and on this trip, one of the goals is to meet them face-to-face, work on training seminars, all that kind of stuff, which you'll be able to see in my videos on my channel coming up here in the next few days. But getting here. So the plan was to come here, and it really wasn't to do this show. It just happened to work out that, hey, here I am. And Mike's like, hey, let's do a show. I'm like, yeah, let's do a show. And here we are. So what it took to get here. Now, again, Mike is from here, not from here, but tons of experience. But as Mike knows, and we all might know, the rules over here change like changing socks. I mean, is this something that, I mean, those who are in Thailand have an idea how that's been since the situation?
Give me an example of the sock changing that you just experienced.
So I went online like everybody else.
Right.
Because if YouTube says it's so, it must be so.
First
thing they said, yeah, it's on the internet. Went to Filipina, whatever YouTube. Anyways, Filipina immigration. I'm like listening to her channel, and she said, "Oh, you don't need anything to get into the Philippines." I'm like, "Rad! I'm booking a ticket. Let's go!" Right. 2 days later, I rang the bell, of course, because I rang her channel. She says, "Oh, by the way," which I didn't watch that video until later, says, "Oh, you need to have registration on," oh gosh, Mike, you're gonna have to help me out with this. It's a registration, Philippine 1 or something like that.
Yeah, I'll throw the link. I'll throw the link up there as you're describing it.
That's what I appreciate it. So it's an immigration thing that kind of like Thailand Pass, except it's made for the Philippines. You have to register for that and get a barcode. The barcode you can take on your phone, which I have right here, and I'm going to show you guys.
Attaboy.
Let's do this, man. This is how much technology we're here at the spot.
No,
we're all about the spot right now. And I got to scroll through all my pictures. So here we go. So I had to get approved through Health Pass. So it's probably called Health Pass, Mike.
Yeah.
That's my guess. Health Pass to get in. And it was very easy, you guys. I was kind of intimidated. So for those who are in Thailand, you had to do a Thailand Pass, which was kind of cumbersome and difficult. You had to take pictures of your passport, your plane tickets, hotel, your vaccine. All the Philippines wanted is proof of vaccination. Sounds easy, sounds awesome. I do it, get my QR code, make sure all my bookings are great. Wait till I come over here, which was, I came over here on Thursday night, because today's Saturday. Thursday night, flew in at 1:30 in the morning, get to immigration, and I am the first one off the airplane, like hustling down the road, because I like to hustle. You can see that in my video. Yeah, so you can see that in there. So yeah, one health pass, there it is. So I get to immigration, and you guys, I'm thinking this is going to be smooth. When I entered Thailand, I just showed my what do you call it, the vaccine one time.
Thailand Pass.
One time. I get to the Philippines, I show it to the ticket agent, I show it to onboard the airplane, I show it. As I'm exiting the airplane, there's somebody checking if you have that card. I'm like, okay, here's my card, and I'm exiting. I'm not even at immigration. Long hallway to immigration, get to immigration. I pull out my card, and the guy says, no.
Your QR code, you mean on your phone, you pulled out?
No. They wanted to see the white card. This is the immigration officer. He says no. And I'm like, okay. So I'm kind of going to be the bumbling Falong, or what are you going to call it? The bumbling
Kano. They call us Kanos.
Kanos. All right.
Is in America, Kano.
Yeah, that's it. So I show them the card because mine is handwritten. So what I mean by handwritten, I wonder if I could pull up that card right now because we're so high in technology.
You mean the health pass piece of paper they give you on the plane that everyone fills out by hand?
No, I had that done. That was perfect.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, so this was your vaccination card, your official vaccination card.
Oh, your vaccination card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which looks, in the United States, looks something like this.
Got it, okay.
But if you can see that, it's been
Pull back a little, actually. Pull back a little and get the zoom. I don't know. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I mean, hold on. Let me make you large, young man. There we go. So basically, people can get an idea. Pull back a little bit, because otherwise it gets, the autofocus is a little weird. But the point is that, wow, that's pretty, I'm surprised you didn't show it to him that way. you know, and then we'd be like,
Yeah.
dude,
Okay.
you
There we
floss
go.
regularly. Okay, so you've
There
got
we
your
go.
vaccine
Okay.
card from from where you got
Right.
it, so the United
Right.
States.
So this is the United States vaccine card. It's the regular 2 doses plus the booster, which that's what you need for the Philippines, by
So
the way.
remember we were talking about that. First, every country has their own definition of fully vaccinated. And apparently for the Philippines, is it still true? You have to have the 2 boosters or the 1 if you had Johnson & Johnson initially. Sorry, not the 2 boosters, the 2 shots. And then at least 1 booster to be fully vaccinated. Is that okay? So that's still the case?
That
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's correct. But because this was written by hand,
Yeah.
he gave me a little bit of grief, and we had to call over 4, 5, 6 immigration officers because no one else was working because I was the first one there and nobody had trickled on yet.
Everyone's taking a break, having a smoke.
And then the line started backing up behind me, and all the immigration
Ooh.
people had to go back to the other one. A
You
guy
could
comes over and
feel
says,
the arrows.
just go.
Perfect.
And I'm like, okay. So I went, and there you go. So I did get through just fine.
Okay.
But it did give me a little, I was nerve-wracked just a tad, just because it's the way it is, right?
But
so,
the reality is for you to get your QR code from the Philippine Health Pass, One Pass, you need to upload a copy of your vaccine card, right? So the only way you could have that QR code is if you already had this vaccine card, yet they want to see it again in addition to your... Okay.
3 times.
Because when you first, meaning you first got off the plane.
Yeah, so right before you get on the plane.
Yes.
You have to show it.
Okay.
As you're getting on the plane, I did say as you're getting off the plane. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Handling, getting on the plane.
Yep.
Off the plane, I was able to scatter to immigration, and they checked it there, and then that was pretty much what they did. So that was my experience at the airport. It wasn't a bad experience. I don't want to scare anybody, but the whole point of this is just kind of, it wasn't as smooth sailing as I might have thought it was.
Right.
And again, this is the Philippine way. Thailand has their way. United States has their way. So I'm just giving you the experience currently in the Philippines. Right. So now we're at 2:00 in the morning. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to keep going on, Mike. I don't know if I answered the question.
I do want you to continue, but I did just want to say one of the things that you just stated, which is really, really important for you guys to ingest, is the fact that the U.S. does it differently. Thailand does it differently. Yeah. You could say, oh, yeah, well, Thailand does it differently. The Philippines doesn't. Well, so does the U.S. Additionally, every now and then you're going to get an immigration officer that's in a bad mood.
I think he was.
And they're going to want to make you go slow. It's a quick story. I moved to Thailand permanently in 2019. I'm all excited. I am moving my life here. I have a 1-year visa. I get to this guy. There's people in front of us. They go through. I get to this guy. I hand him my passport. I'm all excited. It's like 1 a.m, and I can't wait to get into my luggage and get my stuff and go to. And he is on his phone watching a movie and took easily 15 minutes to give me the stamp. And what am I going to say to the guy? Come on, buddy. Speed it up. Speed it up. That's not going to... And I'm like, you know what, dude? I'm in Thailand now. I can wait for the rest of my life.
I love this.
But it happens.
Yeah.
Now, so then... And to be fair, as far as my experiences go getting into Thailand, into the Philippines, not only have I been there by myself, but I've also been there with my wife. Right. And so I would submit that if you're traveling with a Filipina or a Filipino for that matter, they're a little bit more welcoming because you both go up to immigration at the same time, like as a couple, So that's a little different. Anyway, so you're through. It's 2 a.m. and you don't have luggage, right? You're a carry-on guy.
I'm a carry-on type guy. So I like doing things very fast, get in, and then relax. So one of the rules I've learned from also Mike, guys, I think he said this in one of his videos a while back, is for you to really enjoy this, you have to be patient wherever you're in Thailand. Yeah. I want to say it was one of your older videos, and maybe I'm wrong, but I believe during one of his gratitude attacks about not complaining, because if you are an impatient person, Thailand isn't the place for you. That's the same with the Philippines. If you're impatient, I'll be honest with you guys. So real quick here, I'm at dinner with my Philippine family, I guess I'm going to call them my team members.
Nice.
And they said something about the Filipino way.
Okay.
Mike, have you heard that before? Because I'm going to tell you what it is, and then you're going to shake your head. Yes.
So
exactly
the short answer is yes, and I've usually heard it as an excuse to why they haven't gotten their shit
Boom.
together as far as I
The
define
Philippines, the Philippines are always late.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
And it's not just the Philippines. It's Mexico.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. You know.
Yeah, it's not. Where myself, I'm an on-time type person.
You and I are early.
Yeah, I'm an early on
Same
time.
With me and Gracie,
in which, by the way, if Kitty is listening to this right now, she's exactly the same way. So,
ooh,
good for her. I know. Yeah,
nice.
She likes to be early.
It's good.
So, but again, the topic here is Philippines or Thailand. So we're going to roll right into this topic. So my visit, first time was 2019. Now it's 2022.
Yep.
I get there, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And I highly advise, if you're visiting the Philippines, download Grab app before you get here. The reason why, you're going to need it to transportation out of the airport. And I just, that's my recommendation.
So
in Thailand,
totally agree.
It's called Bolt.
And it's, well, Bolt, so okay, there's Grab in Thailand. So, I mean, I use the same Grab app in Thailand as I do in the Philippines. Bolt, Bolt, sadly, they only accept cash, but they are cheaper. And my experience, though, is that they're not as reliable. That's just my experience.
Oh, that's good to know.
I'm very curious, though, because the last time I flew into the Philippines, I was unable to get a Grab at Manila Airport, and I was in and out of there 3 times, and each time I couldn't do it. So how lucky were you with that?
Yeah. So there are 2 things now. Is the Philippines at the airport has a Grab station, which was awesome.
Okay.
However, one of my team members, he had booked a ride for me.
Oh.
From, I forget the province or the area he was in. He's an hour or 2 away from the airport. He pre-booked it for me. And I'm walking outside. Now, remember, my airplane guys came about 45 minutes late. And apparently, this Grab driver, you can't stay parked in the zone. He's walking around. He left. Another guy comes walking around. And I'm very grateful for, again, Shaq, and give him another shout out. The fact that he booked it, paid for it. And I had this guy looking around. And this guy who looked like, I thought I was going to get mugged. Robbie. Or says, Sir Robert, that's what he said.
Hello,
Sir Robert. And I look at him like, do you mean Robbie? Robert? And he goes, oh, yes, it's you. I'm like, okay. So I wasn't going to get mugged. But anyways, I appreciate the guy for booking it for me. And I don't know how much extra he paid him. I know it's about $15 USD, so 800 pesos or something like that, for the initial trip plus tip that he paid. And get into the Grab cab and off for about 20 minutes ride to my crappy, horrible hotel experience, which, by the way, I put it on YouTube on my last video.
Very good. Now, hold on. So you referred to this as your Grab cab that was pre-booked. Was this definitely a Grab, or is this just like a private driver, just like the private driver you use in Thailand that you might have booked for somebody?
A great question. It was the Grab driver.
Okay. So he did it through the app ahead of time. That's good to know, because
showed me the receipt to make sure I didn't have to pay him.
Shit, right.
And that was cool. I really appreciated that of our team to do that.
And this is 2 a.m., right?
2 a.m. So the guy is sweating, walking around. It's hot.
Yeah.
I was expecting rain. There's not been one piece of rain since I've been here.
But that's an important safety tip, because, again, this is not your first time to the Philippines, correct?
No.
Okay.
But
for a lot of people that watch our channel that send us individual emails and that sort of thing, this is their first time out of North America. A lot of people will be like, oh, yeah, I travel internationally. I go to Canada. Okay, well, spoiler alert, you're just going to the 51st state, basically. And there will be some videos that people will watch that will give them the impression that if you land in Manila at 2 in the morning, you're going to get swindled, you're going to get a thing. And yeah, look, that's possible in Boston, okay? But I will say, if you have the ability to do something like Robbie did, for example, which is book someone to pick you up ahead of time, and there are a number of ways to do this. Robbie, actually, a little later on in the show, is going to give you an example of who he uses in Thailand, right? So Bangkok, Pattaya, that sort of thing. I also have a suggestion for you guys, too, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to have competing people. He's got a great solution, so we're going to go with that. But if you do have the ability to just, like, reach out to a friend You don't have to have an entire team working for your company in Manila, but if you can do that, it's very helpful. I will say that probably 50% of the Airbnbs that Gracie and I have used in Manila, they offer that service. They're like, do you want us to, yeah. And they're just like, and instead of like 800 pesos, it's like 1,000 pesos. It's like, whatever, dude. I'm more than willing to throw $4 at something so I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
So that's great. Okay. So the guy takes you to your hotel. Walk us through
Takes
that.
me to a hotel. I booked the hotel using Agoda. So again, another recommendation, both Mike and I said, hey, use Agoda.
Yeah.
Booked it in Agoda. I was warned in the Philippines, if it's 3 stars, it's going to be 3 stars or less. If it's 4 stars, good luck. Book the highest quality one. And I would tell you guys, I did not do that. I'm thinking, I'm coming in at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just going to book a pillow to sleep on, and I don't care. Bad choice, Robbie.
You now care.
Bad choice. Cheap Charlie, bad choice.
Yeah.
Okay?
No,
it wasn't a bad choice. So I go into this hotel, the Manson Hotel. Just kidding. It's called the Oyster Plaza in Manila. So going to the hotel,
like an oyster plaza?
It was pretty bad. Bad odor. I wasn't sure if the sheets are even changed. The water in the bathroom had puddles.
You're joking.
The staff were no, I am not joking.
Like your bathroom in your room had water on the floor?
The bathroom, yes. Full on. You step up, but I have my socks on. They're completely ruined. They're in the trash. Oh man, and I'm like, all right. So I just needed to sleep for a couple hours. Got up early. I had my team was supposed to come pick me up. I decided to say, you know what? I'm going to use the Grab app in the morning, and I'm going to go straight to my newer, nicer 5-star hotel, which this is where I'm at right now, called the Crimson.
Yeah.
And which is about 4 stars in America, 5 stars in the Philippines.
It's really it's 4-star experience. I mean, that's a lot of customer service.
Okay, maybe less, but it's nice. It's a nice hotel, so I have nothing bad to say about it other than the service is kind of weird. And we don't get into all those details on this hotel particularly, but it's a lot better than the the Oyster Loft. I was in.
Than the Fish Palace.
Guys, so I recommend, if you're coming here for the first time, don't be a cheap Charlie. Pay the extra $20. It was only $20 more, and I would have had the 5-star experience. So just pay the extra money. Come over to the Philippines, stay in a semi-nice hotel. And so that was my first day experience. It wasn't bad. It was a learning experience that you could have in Thailand. Again, we're going to compare, Philippines and Thailand, and then we'll go from there.
Let's also compare to, I've never spent any significant amount of time at all in Europe, anywhere in Europe. And obviously I'm Canadian, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time up there. But for the most part, let's say for the sake of argument, you and I are Americans, okay? And so what we can relate to specifically, like what we get in California. We both live, arguably, you're almost past tense, California, expensive locations in California. So it wasn't like it was just an expensive location in Arkansas. This was like freaking beachfront. It's, and
beach,
so therefore a 5-star experience. If you're sitting there and you're watching from the United States and you're putting on the hat saying, okay, Robbie recommends a 5-star hotel. It is not a 5-star cost as it relates to the United States. And as I mentioned before in a couple of other, discussions that Robbie and I had, my first time in Thailand, I stayed at the JW Marriott. JW Marriott in Los Angeles is $400 a night minimum.
Oh my God, more now,
which is like 13,000 baht, or basically 20,000 pesos, okay? So realize that everything is relative, as our buddy Albert Einstein always said. But the reality is that it is so easy to get over disappointment proactively in the Philippines. This is just my experience. By what you will likely refer to eventually in the Philippines as overpaying. It is overpaying in pesos, but is ridiculously underpaying in US dollars. So I would invite you that when you do go to the Philippines, mentally spend in US dollars.
Yes.
Because you're like,
you won't regret it.
Quite frankly, that's the point. Yeah. Because you can always say to yourself, okay, well, this was kind of lame and the customer service, but I also had, 17 people in my business meeting and it was $200, big deal. So
And when I say the extra $20, had I booked an extra night here at the Crimson, it would have been only $20 difference. And this is the hotel where I'm doing my conference at for my business here in the Philippines.
Right.
And it's a nice stay, very comfortable bed. I do recommend the Crimson for the price. It's about $60 USD, maybe $70, but not anything more than that.
Right.
They actually upgraded my room, which is really nice of them. And
so you're at about 3,500, 4,000 pesos per night.
If that's the conversion. Sorry, guys, I don't know the conversion.
The short answer is 50 to 1. I'm sure it's like 51 or 52, but I always, in my mind, my mind, I always do Thailand 30 to 1. And in the Philippines, I always just do 50 to 1. So
perfect. So so good,
very reasonable.
$70. And Go is a great app to do for either country.
Yep.
So, and Mike's going to hopefully agree with this. When you make your choice, go to both countries. Use the same app, and you'll see the flexibility. Go to the country. Go to the Philippines. Please come check it out, and then that's really gonna, maybe help you make your decision to live your best life. Philippines, to me, super beautiful. It's islands. You could rent a beach house for 400 USD. I don't remember the name of the El Nido, I think it is, or something
El Nido.
that. So,
yeah. It's a city in Palawan, the island of Palawan.
Oh, man, so awesome. I mean, how beautiful it is. Go to these destinations. Go to Thailand. Kind of you do your own comparison. And I'm sure Mike and I, again, this show is about, hey, let's compare the two. So I guess, Mike, 10 years expatting over, I'm the newbie. Can you give us kind of the lowdown, what you chose and maybe the why? Maybe a piece of it. I know that's a long 8-hour show right there.
In the Philippines,
yeah.
you mean?
Yeah, so what you chose and what's the why? I mean, your wife is Filipina, and I'm thinking, holy crap, this guy's choosing Philippines.
Why? Yeah, totally. A lot of guys are like, oh, he's going to go live in the Philippines. It's like, no. So I agree. There are beautiful places in the Philippines. Palawan, the island that you spoke of, where the northern city is El Nido, which is very touristy, sort of. It's got like a little bit of a Lululemon cafe feel to it. It's also got some pretty nice beaches. I will tell you that in my U.S. dollars for my birthday in 2019, I think, I rented an island off of the coast of Palawan.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It was going to be $300 a night for the entire island. It had 7 2-bedroom houses right on the beach, and we stayed in a 5-bedroom house with a pool right in front of the beach, and then the thing.
Dude.
And the
gratitude attack.
And indeed. Oh no, I have to share the video with you, dude, because I seriously had an absolute gratitude attack. I'm on top of this mountain, which is one of the caretakers took us up to the top of the mountain. The point is that there is absolute beauty for the amount of money that you will never be distracted by. And so, because again, $300 a night, right? My Filipino wife, she's like, this is ridiculous. There's no friggin' way.
We could buy one. Let's buy one, dude.
Right. 15,000 baht a night. Are you crazy, right? And so, but the neat part, the quick answer is the reason it wasn't distracting at all is about 2 days before we're supposed to go there, the guy that owns the place, he sends us an email, Mike, I'm sorry, I can't have you come because the generator's out. And so there's no electricity. We can put you up at a 5-star resort in another nearby island, which will be totally fine. And of course, I'm an only child. And I think to myself, so you mean I have to go to another island and share it with people? Right. And
spoiled brat. Spoiled.
Oh yeah. Big time, dude. And so, listen, I wasn't spoiled. I just got everything that I deserved with the exception of a plane and a pony. And I said, dude, I'm an electrical engineer. What's wrong with the generator? He's like, no. We've already ripped out the motor. We sent the windings in. We can't get us. And I said, all right, well, I tell you what, can I still come over? And he says, sure, but I can't charge you for it. That would be horrible. So we stayed on this island for 3 nights for free. It was amazing. In the morning, they climbed up the coconut tree, lopped off the coconut,
$300 still?
let it fall. 0.
Oh, man.
But it would have been, because it was on Airbnb, it would have been $350 a night. So there's beautiful there. Now, Gracie and I met in Boracay. Now, if any of you know anything about Thailand, then you probably know about Phuket. Not everyone in the world knows about Hua Hin and Koh Samui even, or certainly Koh Phangan unless you're a full-on raver kind of guy, full moon party. everyone's heard of Bangkok. Most people have heard of Phuket. And in the Philippines, pretty much everyone knows about Boracay. Boracay is arguably one of the most popular and very, very beautiful, very tiny islands. But the west side, the White Beach, is absolutely gorgeous. And that was where I basically ended up going. The reason I went to the Philippines is because after going to Thailand for a few years, a really good buddy of mine says, dude, you got to come over to the Philippines, meet me over here. So I flew in and I went and met him in an inland city, which is about 2.5 hours north of Manila, called Angeles City, which is an absolute dump. It's a total
very popular area.
Very popular area for guys that like literally couldn't even get laid in Thailand. And it is gross. It is really gross. And it was right next to what used to be a U.S. Army Navy base or whatever, probably Clark. And but it's inland, and I'm like, dude, I'm in a country that's made up of almost 7,000 islands, depending upon the tide. Actually, it can be more or less.
There you go.
And I'm inland. What the hell? It's like moving to California and saying, dude, Barstow's my place. I am heading all the way west, and I'm going to get myself a double wide. I'm going to park that baby. So anyway, so I said, dude, I got to get out of here. There's got to be. And he goes, oh, go down to Boracay. Everyone knows Boracay. So I flew into Boracay. Game over. I was just like, oh my god, this is awesome. So I highly recommend you go there. It has been upgraded since I've been there. They have an overpopulation of tourist problem.
Boracay.
Boracay is the name of an island in the Philippines. It is north of the big island of Panay, right? Isn't that the name of the island, honey? What's the name of the?
He's talking to Gracie.
I'm talking to Gracie, my Filipino wife. What's the name of the island just south of Boracay? The one that you're on, the whole island. No. The island south of Boracay, the one you live on. Panay. Okay, I wanted to make sure I was pronouncing it right. So Panay Island, all the way in the north, is Caticlan Airport, and you take Caticlan Airport, and you basically take a boat over to Boracay. But it's gorgeous. Now, the neat thing about that was that it gave me a really big contrast. And like you, I had already been to Thailand a few times, and I went over there with a level of, okay, I had some expectation, but I had to throw in some patience in there for sure. And as is mentioned, we could talk a little bit more about what Daniel mentioned is, there's tons of island hopping tours from Boracay. It is a very popular kite surfing spot, depending upon the time of year. It is also a very popular snorkeling spot. So and if you go there, you will absolutely concur with Robbie that the Philippines is gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
So I would go there. Now, my experience overall with the entire Philippines is that it has a lot of room to grow. It has the sad title of having the worst internet in all of Southeast Asia. Keep in mind that Southeast Asia includes Laos.
Wow.
And so, so that's sad.
Dirt Road, Cambodia.
Now, absolutely, Cambodia. Now, where you are in Manila, you're in the city. There is fiber internet available all day long. And so keep in mind that with every statistic, right, there's a certain level of flexibility. If you're in Makati, the internet is decent. If you're where you are, the internet is decent. If you're where your team is that basically lives on the internet to make a living, the internet is decent and you can get decent fiber optics. And you upgraded this internet, right, for literally less than $2, right, to get the better. Yeah. And
100 pesos.
100 pesos. And if you guys have ever seen me do live streams with like Rike or that sort of thing, Rike's internet always gets jittery. But Robbie is looking, awesome, right? And so, I
look dapper.
He does, actually. He looks pretty dapper because of his T-shirt. And so with that, you are making use of probably one of the things that I think the Philippines is really famous for in general, which is great customer service through, I'm going to put it in air quotes, call centers. You haven't employed a call center, but what you have done is you've employed Filipinos that are talented to work online for you. And I would really invite people, especially companies that are thinking we should really outsource our customer service to India. Do not do it. Go to the Philippines.
Go to the Philippines.
The Philippines has excellent English-speaking people that are ridiculously polite, that have a great customer service and fairly decent work ethic, quite frankly, provided they're given some direction, okay? Yes. And you do that, this one guy that I've been able to work with on Robbie's team called Shaq, he is a brilliant young man.
Yeah.
And given the right amount of direction, he is going to be a brilliant father, a brilliant mentor, a brilliant older brother, a brilliant son kind of thing. I'm sure he's already in that category. Just ask his parents. But the point is he's learning along the way, and he loves learning. And if you can get someone in their 20s that has a thirst for knowledge and doing the right thing and trying some things that they might make mistakes at, I would really encourage you and your business to think about the Philippines, because it's got a lot to offer in that area. Plus, then you can justify flying over there like Robbie and going on a business trip and going to the beach.
That's right. And you guys all know, again, my plan is I'm setting up my own business to retire full-time in Thailand. And part of that is hiring the right people, putting together the right team to where I can still make a good living. Because as a business owner like Mike, we don't get the typical retirements and 401ks. We got to do it ourselves, but it's doable. Like Mike said, don't hire the Indian. I mean, obviously from experience, I've been there too.
Yeah.
So I hired, I have 5 full-time Philippine digital content creators. And again, they're amazing, and they make it so I get to live in Thailand. They're part of the team, along with my 5 team members there in the States. And together they make it so I can live here. So I'm very grateful. And by the way, guys, that is a total gratitude attack. Thank you guys for just making this happen. Makes me feel warm and fuzzy, regardless of all the airplane travels I have and issues with the Philippines. It makes it worthwhile. Tune into some of my videos coming up on walking in my shoes to meet the team, and you'll see what Mike was talking about. Great English, educated individuals that honestly, they love their country. So that brings us to this whole comparison. Yeah, this brings us to the comparison because I was asked recently, why don't I hire Thai people? If you love Thailand so much, you've made it your choice, why are you hiring Filipinos over Thais? And that's a great question. If I can take a quick moment, this is one of the reasons why people choose the Philippines, is there's this English barrier that you don't have here as much as you do in the Thailand. So meaning, like Mike said, they speak English for the most part, and really great English, better grammar than me, by the way. It is, except they keep
because
calling
you should have said better grammar than I, by the way.
Better grammar than I. And these guys are just amazing. I have a young girl who's watching the video right now who watches this, and she's 19 years old, and yeah, pretty amazing, the fact that she's perfect English and kicks butt, and it's pretty hilarious. I'm like, man, you guys are smart. And it's not to say that the Thai girls aren't smart either, but their English isn't quite as well. But I chose Thailand for other reasons, and I would love to get into that, but I think we're just about time for a break here.
Yeah, we're at about 43 minutes. And again, you know, we're doing a Thailand versus the Philippines thing, and obviously because of Robbie's locale right now and that sort of thing, what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, and when we come back from this, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Philippines, and then we're going to go right into Thailand and our experience with Thailand, the pluses and minuses, and then what we'll do is we'll basically do a pluses and minuses thing.
Comparison, pro and con, proactive. Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it, guys. So stay tuned.
Guys. Talk to you guys in about 90 seconds. Greetings, aloha. What's going on? It's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com. Just wanted to thank you guys for coming by and engaging basically with the live stream. It's really great to be able to answer your questions. It's an honor, quite frankly. And so one of the things that I wanted to touch on here as we do a quick little break, there's the Live My Ass Off YouTube channel, which Gracie and I are grateful that you guys watch, and hopefully the recent videos have been informative and fun. It's been fun for me to do it. I'm definitely going to ramp up the number of live streams that I do, but this one here specifically to address one of the questions that I get from a lot of people, which is What's the spot? And so the spot is definitely what Kiss FM Pattaya is transitioning into. But it's more than just a radio station in Pattaya. It's more than just a radio station in Thailand. It's going to be pretty much the center for entertainment, for advertising, for information, and for fun. And Robbie and I are the guys that are embarking on this journey, and we're doing it through this live stream, which is going to happen every Saturday morning East Coast time right now at 9 a.m. every Saturday evening, which is 8 p.m. Bangkok time, 9 p.m. in the Philippines. But oh my God, guys, I am so sorry. That is really, really offensive. And you guys know that I don't have a whole lot of tolerance for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the hell out of that break. And sorry, and apologize profusely for that. Robbie's taking a little bit of a break too. And when he comes back, obviously we'll get back into the topic. But I really wanted to thank you guys. What that video was simply me saying, hey, thanks a lot for sticking around in the break. I really appreciate it. But the next thing I wanted to say is that, you know, as we're doing this spot thing, a couple of times we've talked about, you know, what we're doing with it and that sort of thing. And so this is one of the things that we're doing with it. And what we're doing is basically having a discussion at least once a week. And we're going to do it Saturday mornings, Bangkok time. Right now we're doing it Saturday mornings, Boston time. So I'm not sure whether you're on your microphone on your device and not on your headphones. So you need to turn your Bluetooth back on. So
can you hear me okay?
I can, but I can't. I'm hearing you from your laptop, not from your Bluetooth headset. So just use your Bluetooth headset for the microphone and the speakers. All right. And then we'll be good. Yeah, you're picking up a lot of ambient background noise, but that's okay. Just make sure you choose microphone for your earbuds there. Yeah, I know, and I really hate that test. Thank you very much for letting me know. And I only saw it on the tail end of it there, so I stopped it early. What I'm hoping, though, because Robbie actually did a really cool commercial, if you will, and so we're going to be showing you that a little bit later. But can you set the microphone to your earbuds?
Oh, am I still not working right?
No.
It is.
Well,
give me 1 second, guys.
You're getting a lot of background noise. And
how about right now?
No. It's still, like, in other words, if you tap your laptop, I hear it go tick, 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 tick. So, but best Philippine beaches beat the best top. You think so? I mean, it depends. I got to tell you, dude, I was in Phuket. And so now you're using your laptop for your speakers. And so therefore it's going to echo. So you need to use your earbuds. Otherwise it's going to come back. And so, yeah, so great question, Tess. So the short answer is no. I do have a condo in Bangkok. Robbie has a condo down in Jomtien. And we will both be back in Thailand a little later. But right now, Robbie is in Manila, still not using his Bluetooth headset.
It shows that I'm using it, and I hear it through my ears, so I don't know.
There's a significant amount of background noise from before, but that's okay. We can continue with it, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that we get the opportunity to ask, to talk a little bit more about Thailand. And you guys are full of wisdom. Thank you, Shaq. We got to say a big shout out to Shaq. Shaq does great work, and I'm really honored to know the guy. He's very cool, and great voice. Yeah, I have a face for radio, actually. Thank you so much. And so I did want to talk about this, because this is an interesting statement. Roof Pizza, one of your listeners, I think, or one of your subs, he says that the best beaches in the Philippines beat the best beaches in Thailand. And I will say, I was in Phuket, and I was going around the island of Phuket. I got to 26 beaches, and I still hadn't gone all the way around. And it was And they were some dynamite beaches. I mean, Kamala Beach is like kind of small in the sense, but it's a great walking beach. Kata Beach, Karen
Yes.
Beach, same thing. And so yeah, I mean, you're smacking the microphone with those fingers when you start typing. So I know you're not using your. You think you may need to disconnect it and reconnect the Bluetooth because you walked far enough away, right, where it disconnected the Bluetooth.
Yeah, I can hear it in here.
You can hear me in
sorry
your
guys,
ears?
if you guys, yeah, sorry guys if you
So you
are
just need to
catching a lot
choose
of
a different
feedback.
input. That's all you need to do. Just choose a different input. Even, oh my God, even Patrick, audio is going through the earbuds, but the mic is from the computer. Thank you, Patrick. I'm not crazy. I was all of a sudden wondering. I figured Chris would hop on here from No Bad Productions. He would be like, "No, Mike, here's the deal. You're basically getting loss of fidelity because of the size of the microphone and then the." So you've been to Phuket and you cruised all the way around. I mean, I got to tell you, dude, I got to think Karen Beach is a great walking beach. I mean, it's, again, you got to remember when I was down there, it was basically COVID, right? So I had the whole thing to myself. So that was kind of nice because Karen, I mean, there's a lot of people that stay in there, and a lot of times the people that are the regular sort of the tour, not necessarily the tourists, but like the expats that are living there, that can make that a little bit too crowded. And so I can agree. I think Thailand Beach has more to offer than the Philippines. It's an interesting question, Harriet. I mean, an interesting statement because, again, I have yet to go to all of the Thai beaches. And the ones that I've been to in the Philippines, a number of them are quite nice. Anyway, so I want to get to Robbie because obviously Robbie's got a reason why the hell he found Thailand. I mean, again, he was going through whatever he was going through. So give us a little background of like why you even started watching your first guy on YouTube do videos on Thailand, and then we'll go from there.
Hopefully you guys, yeah, can you guys hear me any better at all?
I can hear you. I mean, it's just there's a ton of background noise because you're using the microphone on the laptop.
How weird. Okay.
No.
I've tried.
Now, let's remember, guys,
buttons.
that Macs are easy and it just works with a Mac. False.
Yeah, false. Okay, might have to exit and come back in to reset.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, you can refresh the browser. That wouldn't kill you, but
it's not going to kill me on the live stream.
No. You'll come back. You just rejoin, just like you did. Enter, right? Enter scheduled. Yeah.
All right, Mike will keep you entertained.
So there, yeah, I might start juggling actually if you guys want me to, but I appreciate it, Patrick. As you can see, the delta in noise floor has just changed significantly. Now, the neat thing, right, is that we're getting viewers and listeners and that sort of thing from my channel, Live My Ass Off, as well as Robbie's channel, which is Walking in My Shoes Thailand. And so the neat thing about that is that we have different experiences, right? And so if you guys have watched any of Robbie's videos, you can see that he's experiencing Thailand, but he's also a resident, quite frankly. But anyway, let's go back to, and it didn't change. Yeah, there you go. That's a question. Oh, his audio's fine. Maybe he can just find a quiet spot. Yeah, in the Philippines. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
We'll go to a mall or a grocery store in the Philippines so you can find a quiet spot.
Yeah.
But anyway, dude, it's totally better, and it sounds like your wedding has now gotten a divorce.
Oh, it's actually gotten a little bit better. Okay,
it has gotten a little bit better, absolutely. So anyway, so let me go back to giving you the floor. It is. Thank you, Patrick. To giving you the floor and saying, okay, here's why I watched my first video, Mike, and then boom, 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 just go for it.
So wow, okay, this is pretty deep here. So again, hopefully you guys click like, subscribe, Walking in My Shoes. You'll check out all my past videos that talk about it. So this all started back in 2017, going through my midlife crisis. Really, I went through a divorce, guys. Went through my divorce, and I had a buddy of mine, and he recommended, because he saw my divorce obituary online, and he says, hey, man, you need to go to Thailand and get out of this funk you're in. I'm like, what are you talking about? So he obviously felt something more than I did. And that's when it started. His name is Tony Spencer. So if he's watching this or if he'll watch it later, I've just now called out his full name. You guys can type him in.
Find him on LinkedIn.
Anyways,
yeah.
Find him on LinkedIn. He lives in Costa Rica or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Yep. Never met the guy. That's a whole nother story. It's a great story how I did meet him online. But anyways, he encouraged me, check out Thailand. And so the deal was, book your Thailand trip and I'll come with you. I'm like, sweet. So I booked my trip in April of 2019, in April for 2019 November.
Okay.
So 6 months, right? 6 or 7
That's not
months.
bad, no.
And I'm like, sweet. And guys, I booked it for a few weeks, stayed a few months, like a lot of you might, and Tony never showed up.
Oh, he didn't even.
So,
Oh, okay. I thought he like met you at the airport and did a couple weeks and then
nope,
cruised home.
he sure didn't come. And
Interesting.
he is
Okay.
all about Thailand. He's telling me about the good-looking girls. I'm like, oh yeah, I could use that. He's telling me about how cheap it is. Okay, I could use that. All these different reasons why I should come and visit. And he said, Robbie, honestly, one of these days I'm going to live here. And I'm
Okay.
thinking, wow, okay, shoot. So thus started my binge watching YouTube. Before I even got here, I started following people like LiveMyAssOff, CB Media, Chad,
Yeah.
several other different, Foreigner Joe had just started up, I think.
Yep, I remember that.
And these are new YouTube channels and several others. And man, when I talk about binge watching, guys, I'm talking about 9 straight hours in the middle of the night going, drooling, just
Really?
drooling.
Right.
So that's really how it began, how it started. I saw Mike from Live My Ass Off, and I'm like, man, this guy's my age. He's bald. No, that's not the reason why. But he's having these videos of gratitude attacks. And to me, if you're not living your best night, you're not living. And I'm thinking, dude, I can sit at home in Pismo Beach, beautiful Pismo, and be depressed all day and be miserable, make a shitload of money, crap load of money, drive my fancy BMW, and still not be satisfied with my life.
Yeah.
So let's move fast forward. I do my visit, ended up being 2.5 months, not 2 weeks. Loved it so much. I said, wow, this is amazing. Tony talks to me after I chew him out for not showing up. He says, you will never want to come back home. And I said, dude, I booked my second trip. And then COVID hit. COVID hit right when I got back. I got back February 15th or something like that. 2019. Yep, 2020. COVID hit. Shut down Thailand for years. You guys, I was a YouTube whore. Can I say that online? Because yeah, there you go. I'm a YouTube whore, slut, however you want to say it. Just keep going. And I'm on YouTube religiously, consciously. But what's interesting is I'm not only looking at Thailand. I'm looking at, well, heck, I love the beach. I love white sand. It's not only about the hot girls in Thailand, guys. Here's Mike. He's got a beautiful wife here in the Philippines. I'm thinking, wow, okay, so Filipinas. Sweet, let's do it. I start looking at Philippine YouTube videos. Tons of different YouTubers, guys. Tons of different reasons why you could choose the Philippines over Thailand. And it is something I'm like, okay, I got to go to both places. So, right. Yeah, I had to check out the Philippines. And I went and I stayed in Makati. And then I went to Makati. I stayed, and then I went to Lipa, the Banglas or Bangla or whatever. I always say that wrong. Down there somewhere in a nice area of Philippines. It's one of the nicer areas. If any of my Filipinos are watching it, I'm sure they'll type it in the box down below.
This is near Manila, you mean? Or you went down to like
about
Bohol?
4 hours south where the volcano is. It's past that.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's down there, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I actually really enjoyed the people. I really, really loved it. And again, COVID, delays, and Batangas. That's it. Thank you, Neftali. So I don't want to get off track here.
No.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it started. That's how my YouTube journey started. Now, not me becoming a YouTuber.
Right. This is you just experiencing the vacation.
Experiencing YouTube, and it really encouraged me, and I encourage all of you guys. I mean, if you want to live your best life, heck, try it through somebody else first. I tried it through Mike's. I mean, the dude's got gratitude attacks that last hours walking on the beach.
It would be long, wouldn't it?
You know, it's not only, you know, girly bars. Matter of fact, I don't think you have any of those videos, but that might not be his stick, is the videos,
No,
like
it's
girly bars and stuff.
well, it's not like there aren't other YouTubers that do it all day, every
Yeah.
day, right? So I mean, that's why I really like your kind of. You're like, look, it's available, but you know,
It's available, and I've gone. And if you haven't experienced the Pattaya life as a single divorced man in their 50s, I think I was 48, something like that. And if you haven't done that, I encourage you, if you come over as a single guy, you need to get the Pattaya out of you, which in our last video, we talked about that, and Mike has great stories about that. Get the Pattaya out of your system, because it does matter when choosing your place. And just so you guys know, I love the Philippines. I didn't choose it as my expat station where I want to be hubbed at for several different reasons. I think we'll be getting into that in a little bit here of our pros and cons of each one. But there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you. I mean, that's cool. And I think a lot of people that are like new to the channel or new to the spot, that sort of thing, you know, they're just like, okay, you know, why are you guys there and that sort of thing. I would submit that Robbie's scenario that he described is a lot more common than potentially mine. Now, mine isn't any sort of, you know, miraculous sort of thing. It was just that, you know, there had been a buddy of mine pestering me. You got to come to Thailand. You got to come to Thailand. You got to come to Thailand. And I was like, oh, my God, it's going to be a 12-hour flight. It's going to be an 18-hour flight. How long does it take you to get there? Oh, 24 hours. And so it was interesting because I kind of wanted to travel, but I didn't know where I was going to go. And so I thought, all right, well, I could go to Mexico. I mean, I've already been to Mexico. I had a business in Mexico that I started and then ended. I had real estate in Mexico that I bought and then sold and then walked away from. I had all these experiences, you know, but it was Mexico, and it didn't seem like that really sort of exotic. Now, when I first started coming to Thailand, there were basically two YouTubers. There was Scott with an American in Bangkok, and then there was JC, you know, with retirecheap.asia.
Oh, no Chad?
And no, there was no chat. In fact, I had already been to Phuket, and then a couple of months later, this guy Rob from 20 Seconds in Thailand moves to Bangkok, and then ended up down in Phuket. But he was one of the early guys, just like Rike was basically one of the first guys that did Filipino videos and stuff, and living in the Philippines as an expat. So yeah, I mean, like Robbie, I kind of did the same thing. I was 45 when I first went to Thailand, and he and I have talked about that actually on his interview with an expat video, and so we'll put a link to that below, and you guys can watch that. And I talk a little bit about how I started, and why I came, and what I needed to get out of my system. Because I mean, there's other stuff too, like Robbie is saying. I mean, there's an infinitely large Thailand that is not just Nana Plaza, that is not just the first, between Beach Road and Second Road.
Really?
In Pattaya. And eventually you will find it, young man. But
get the Pattaya out of you guys. Do it. Travel.
I mean, again, unless of course that's your thing, right? I mean, some guys love golf, and I'm like, talk about a great way to ruin an afternoon. But
I like roof pizza. Just so I can say this real quick, just because we're talking about stuff. Toronto to Pattaya. I know he's talking about time, but man, I keep thinking Toronto or Pattaya. I'm choosing Pattaya, guys. Hands down. He's so cold or heat.
He was, is it 36? Now I'm curious, Roof. I mean, is that because from Toronto, do you have to go through BC? Do you have to go through? Do you have to actually land and switch planes in Vancouver, or can you go directly from Toronto to? Well, I mean, from Toronto you could go over either sea, right? I mean, you could go over the ocean, rather, Atlantic or Pacific from Toronto. I mean, from Toronto you could probably go to. You could probably make it all the way to Doha, couldn't you? And then from Doha hop to Bangkok. I'm curious about that. That's interesting. But anyway. That is a long time, 36 hours. I will tell you that the fastest I've ever made it, and then again, this is from the West Coast, so this is Los Angeles. It was like, you catch the jet stream, right? So it was like 11 and a half hours, LA to Taipei. I had a 45-minute layover in Taipei, and if you're thinking, oh my God, how can I get? the Taiwanese are ridiculously efficient. They are just like the Japanese. It's like, okay, we're moving you, and they know you're moving. So don't ever fear that. EVA Airlines that flies through Taipei is a great recommendation that I have. Robbie also has some great recommendations, also through Star Alliance, through United.com, which of course is ANA, another Japanese airline. Great quality customer service.
Yep.
So, but one of the people mentioned that Jomtien is awesome where you live now, but Pattaya is like kind of a dump. And I get that, right? I mean, there are certain parts of that, but don't forget, Pattaya is not, again, it's not just that one block. Pattaya goes way inland. People refer to it as the dark side.
Yeah.
And there are like single family homes in entire neighborhoods. But yeah, I mean, it's got a lousy reputation. The cool thing is that the whole rest of Thailand does not have a reputation that is anywhere like that. And you can actually like tell your mom that you went to Koh Samui, kind of thing. So talk to me a little bit more about how much more you explored Thailand. Because I know when you were there for your first trip, you did a ton of stuff, right? And we talked about that on the last live stream, which is, you do it. Here's a great thing I think that we should talk about. Because this happened to me eventually, maybe not on my first trip, but eventually I started thinking, I can do business here. When did that hit you? Like, because that probably did that happen like on your first trip?
Yes. I knew when my son left my house. So I went through my divorce. And it's just me and my teenage son. When he graduated high school, he went on to the military. So that left me 50 years old and making money and not living my best life. And I'm like, shoot, I'm a developer for websites and marketing. And guys, I'm not even a very good developer. You can ask Mike. I don't even know how domains work, okay? Anyways, but I'm good at business.
Yeah.
And I'm good at enrolling team members. And I can do that anywhere around the world. Well, heck, that's where the Philippines came in. That's where I went, okay, I'm going to try Thailand. Can I find enough English-speaking individuals to help me in Thailand? Because, heck, I'd be able to manage my whole operation right there. And I did interview a couple places in Pattaya to see, is it possible? One of the guys is a British web developer right there on the dark side. And he's like, no, go to the Philippines and do it. Live in Thailand. And sure enough, that's what I did because I can speak to the Filipino population. And I can run my business from Thailand. It's only 1 hour difference.
Yeah.
In Philippines. And then I like working at night or early morning. I'm an early guy, so I wake up early. And if you wake up early in Thailand, it's afternoon in America, where my clients are. So you guys, 90% of my clients are in California based, with the other 10% all over the world. And then also working with the spot is in Thailand. And so I can do my business pretty much anywhere around the world. And again, just because that works for me and also for Mike's, it doesn't mean that part will work for you, but it doesn't need to discourage you not to come.
I think it's actually great to sort of segue into, because one of the things I didn't really sort of think about is, again, it's a transition. Now, towards the end, when I permanently moved, I literally walked into my boss's office and fired him in September, saying I'm leaving in October.
Boom.
Absolutely.
Love it. Fire the boss.
I didn't burn a bridge. I didn't tell him to go screw himself. I just told him he was totally incompetent and I couldn't work for him because he had no knowledge of what we were doing. And so, but here's the thing. I did the same thing as Robbie. When Gracie and I would be in Thailand and we would be over there or whatever, I would get up in the morning. So we're talking like 5, 6 in the morning, Thailand. And that would be about 3, 4, 5 p.m. on the West Coast, which was great. Because if any of you guys basically have a real job back in the U.S. and you're over there and you're thinking, okay, dude, literally morning is night is I'm going to be up in the middle of the. I would do that, Robbie. I would get up in the morning. I would check my email and I would check in with all of my guys basically before they left the office at 5 p.m. And my point is, it was very doable. And right. And then the nice thing was by about 10 in the morning in Thailand, everyone is long gone from the office, And so I had the whole rest of my day in Thailand, and I didn't need to have this noise in the background. I don't know about you, but especially as a business owner, you take a day off, right? When you're living in your city where your office is, I would submit that at least a couple times during the day, either you're pinged by one of your staff or you've got this little, the little buzz in the back of your head thing. Yeah, I can take this day off, but then tomorrow it's going to be twice my stuff in the inbox, and then I got twice the meetings tomorrow because I had to slide them all today, or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that happens every time, but the neat thing for me is that it was a catalyst to the migration, to the transition, because I can be like, okay, wait a minute. I don't need to quit my life. I don't need to tear up my damn U.S. passport and stick my chest out and wrap myself in the Thai flag in order to move to this part of the world. I can still do back there from here, and then I can figure out a way to transition what I do there to here. I'm very curious because we have a lot of guys that follow us that are business owners like yourself.
Yes.
How did you find? Not necessarily. That's not the right word. How did you research the hiring Filipinos? I guess that's it's kind of a broad brush, but I'll throw it out there.
Great. So back in 2017, the year I went through my divorce, I believe, I was scaling my business and I was looking for a graphic designer. I used Upwork or Fiverr, and I met a graphic designer here in the Philippines in Lipa. We hit it off. And I ended up hiring him outside of that network and chatted with him. And that's kind of how it started. And the communication was so easy. Yeah. It was beautifully easy, guys. It wasn't that hard. And you guys, I mean, American dollars versus Philippine dollars.
Pesos, yeah.
I mean, let's just put this in perspective here. And I use the word dollars because now everybody understands it's called a peso or a baht. I'm thinking my USA budget of a minimum wage employee right now in the state of California is $15.50 where I live.
Yeah.
That's correct. I could hire 6.5 Philippine educated individual, pay them good, pay them well, pay them more than what they would get in Manila right now for the same price as one.
Right.
And that's current times. And back in 2017, when the minimum wage was at $11, even, a little different. But the point being is it works. Yeah. I was able to navigate that. And here I am right now in Manila. Mm-hmm. And working with that team, and they're enabling me to live my best life. And guys, if I didn't have them, I would find somebody else, right? I would find a different country, a different thing. And I wanted to touch point on this, and I don't know if I'm going to go off topic, Mike, but when we're comparing Philippines and Thailand, guys, I really want you to understand, I had a list of 4 countries that I was choosing from. Vietnam and Cambodia being the other 2. I had yet to travel to those 2 countries, but with my research, as Mike mentioned earlier, I did it all on YouTube, and I'm being told, go to Vietnam, but don't live there. Go to Cambodia, but be prepared to have dirt roads everywhere you go. And a third world country. You guys, I'm American. I love my comfort. I'll be honest with you. Thailand hotels, cheap, great. I love Thailand because it's American. It's kind of westernized with the Thai culture.
Yeah.
Philippines, my second choice. Beautiful beaches. Crime is high, so it's unfortunate. It keeps me away from the Philippines.
Can be.
It can be. Yeah, so there's a couple of my reasons why. So I know I went way off topic.
No.
But hopefully you following along there.
You got to remember, right? I mean, this is all sort of the stuff that goes through people's minds. And one of the things I will say, guys, and we can throw this on the bottom right now, is that any of the sort of topics that we come up with here, I'm throwing our emails down in the bottom crawl. Feel free to reach out to us individually. So, for example, if you're a small business owner and you're like, how the hell do I get a team in the Philippines? Then, ping Robbie and be like, dude, where did you start? Or like he said, go to Upwork, or go to, but I would submit to you that, I mean, both of us are kind of doing this because it's not like we're getting paid to do this yet. But the point is that we're doing, our payment for this is like emotional, right? At least for me. And I know that Robbie and I share a very sort of, the whole gratitude. I don't have a whole lot of guys that like ping me and say, dude, I really dug that, that gratitude technique. Most guys are like, so dude, how do I meet a really good girl? I'm texting you from a bar. How do I meet a really good girl? Leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the point is that Robbie and I, I mean, we have a great, there's a mesh, right? And it's additive and it's collaboration, not competition. He's got his YouTube channel. I have my YouTube channel. We have our YouTube channel. We have our thing and we're doing this. And, like I will say, I will say, though, one thing I would caution people about getting really connected with a fellow expat in foreign countries. Again, at the end of the day, that's like saying, when you're dating a woman, make sure that, like, you believe she's honest with you, And so, in other words, I'm not going to, like, do a background check on the guy. But, like, there's certain things that we talked about where we really sort of, gelled. And I think that that's actually also pretty important to be able to find someone potentially from your own home country when you're expatting. I don't particularly like big expat groups. I like to take my expat with me and then integrate. I like to get to know the locals much more in Thailand, which I would submit is a little bit more difficult in Thailand than it is in the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah. And
so check mark for the Philippines. There we go. Kind of pros and cons.
Exactly. Now, many of you guys will know the Philippine YouTube channel, if I can call it that, which is, Life Beyond the Sea, run by a guy named Rike. And he's a very good friend of mine, and I've known him for years, and he absolutely loves the Philippines. He has a Filipino fiance, right? And he's lived in Vietnam for over a year, so he's tried other places. But for him, he loves the Philippines, and he also acknowledges, like, everything takes 3 times as long. You have to go to immigration X amount of time. And, but arguably the visa process is a little bit more flexible in the Philippines versus Thailand. So as you're sitting there, Robbie, and you're doing this, you're doing the Philippines right now, knowing at least that one of those places is probably going to be a more permanent home. And for you, it sounds like it's Thailand. Correct me if I'm wrong. And for me, it's okay. And for me, it's basically, definitely Thailand. But one of the things that I always tell people is, I have a condo in Bangkok. And the great thing about Bangkok is it's so easy to leave and to come back to Bangkok. Yeah. So I think I tell you what, let's take another break. And then what we'll do after the break is we'll talk about, like, why we really believe that if we're doing the comparison, Philippines is absolutely a great option for a number of reasons. But our home base, like you were saying, our HQ, where our hub is, and where all the spokes go, is going to be Thailand. So we'll take a quick break, guys, and we'll come back after that, and we will talk a little bit more about why Thailand. So let's do it.
That's it.
Hey guys, this is Robbie from Walking in the Shoes. I'm with Kerwin GR Taxi Service in this luxury cab. Let's check it out. There's her information. She does speak English, and this is a beautiful car. She provides drinks for you, wet nap, all leather seating, super comfortable, luggage area, plenty of room for you and your friends. And again, she does speak English. Just say 1 or 2 words. Hello.
Hi everybody. I'm going taxi service car.
So guys, here is the cab I've taken. Very nice, brand new luxury vehicle. And price for this vehicle, for a luxury vehicle from Pattaya to the airport, you can get as low as 1,000 baht, but for luxury, you're gonna pay a little bit more for, up to 1,500 baht. Anyways, beautiful brand new car. There it is. Yep, beautiful car. Yes, so here's her information. So be sure to give her a call. She books through Facebook. I will also provide it in the links below. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to The Spot, and let's get back to the show. Peace.
Very cool, my friend. Very, very cool. Yeah, I was stoked to be able to do that. You did a really good job on that, by the way.
Great. And the link, you guys, for Kerwin Taxi is right below in the Facebook little scroller we have that was going to change here in a minute. So be sure to check that out.
I tell you what, hold on. Did you give that to me? Because I want to put it in the chats and blast it out to all the channels. Can you either do that by clicking chat at the top and then doing a copy and paste? or throw it in private chat and I'll do it.
Boom.
There you
There
go.
it
Thank
is.
you very much. Yeah. So what's her
And it's
name?
also in the scroller down below. So her name is Kerwin.
Kerwin. Okay.
Her Falong or her foreigner boyfriend, who they're in business together. What's awesome about this taxi cab service compared to the one I have in Phuket that I use is a brand new car, by the way. I mean, we're talking 2022, fully loaded, limousine style, blacked out windows, jacks for your phone and your iPad in the back seat, its own air conditioner, heater in the back seat. I mean, it is the tits. I can say that it's the tits. And she charges $1,300 to $1,500 for that. And she has 4 different cars available. So check her out. She is awesome. And I've now given her double pub, double publicity.
Yeah.
And yeah. And if you guys, just so you know, we're doing these commercials and these sponsors. We're not making any money at this. The goal is to kind of break even eventually. We're actually pubbing out businesses and things that we use.
Yeah.
I know Mike does. I do. So whenever you see a commercial that from Walking in My Shoes or from Live My Ass Off, just know this is from experience. It's not people saying, you know, giving us money to do this. We are experiencing it from the Wombat to Kerwin Taxi Service. Check it out.
Absolutely. No, that's cool. I'm psyched about that. And, you know, again, guys, look, you know, my background is in radio. Robbie's background is in website design, online marketing, that sort of thing. He's got a whole team. And so, again, it's something that we kind of want to do because, you know, both of us use the word when I retire. But you got to remember, it doesn't mean we're just going to like sit around and, you know, eat through our savings and like, you know, sit on the porch and drink Country Time lemonade. I mean, both of us feel the need to be productive, you know?
Yeah. And that is awesome that you bring that up. It isn't about retirement and just doing nothing. For me, it's living your best life, because if you're not living. And for Mike's is living that dream. What is the dream? I actually enjoy working. There's my dream.
Yeah.
I love having gratitude attacks, walking on the beach with no shoes on and going, oh my gosh. So there you go. And that's why I sold everything I have, just about my brand new BMW. Took a huge loss on that, guys. And people have asked me,
that's too bad.
Yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, aren't you crazy for getting rid of it so early and you're taking a loss? I'm like, hell no, I'm not.
Yeah, right.
I am grateful that I got to experience the BMW lifestyle for as long as I did. And here I am in Thailand. You know what I ride now? I ride a scooter. I ride a 2017
for $50
Honda
a month.
Click for $50 a month, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can't be happier that I've made this choice. I love that comment. It says, Rob, remember when you mentioned Roai before? I was surprised you knew about it. That is my favorite little town ever. My buddy owns a villa there. Keep this area a secret. In case you guys don't know what 555 is, that means ha, ha, ha. Real quick is I did get to tour Roai quite extensively. I have another friend that lives down there that encouraged me to come to Thailand and choose Thailand. He has since then moved back to Chiang Mai, and he's an avid hiker. He's a 62-year-old San Diegoan, guy from the San Diego area, and amazing guy, very wealthy guy. Sold it all, went through his midlife crisis, which I call divorce or whatnot, sold everything. He's best friends with his ex-wife, which is awesome, but moved to Thailand, and he's living his best optimal life, and he did it in Roai and now Chiang Mai. Roai is pretty beautiful, but we are talking about Philippines and Thailand. So, Mike, you had a question right before we went to break, and I want to make sure we get to that.
Right. So, and just so you guys know, Roai is basically a town in the southern part of Phuket. Phuket.
Awesome.
So
awesome
we were talking about, you know, sort of like the transition, right? But also like once you get over there and the ability to continue to travel. And so we were talking about, you know, there's Cambodia and there's Vietnam, and I mentioned Rike's going to Vietnam. And how, I mean, honestly, dude, I think Bangkok is the best city in the whole world because it is, first of all, let's be clear, it's a city, okay? It is not a fishing village.
Love that city.
But it literally has everything. Now, that means it has the ability to get street food for $2. Robbie and I can also go to a bank we can go to a mall, go up on the 6th floor, and basically buy a Porsche or a Bentley or, okay.
A Ghost, dude. What's that? Rolls Royce Ghost,
No,
buddy.
yeah, no. I'll tell you, I had a Silver Shadow,
Man.
and it was a dynamite car. Talk about over-engineered. 2 calipers in the front wheel. The goddamn thing weighed so much. Anyway, but Bangkok is awesome because it's easy to get into, it's easy to get out of, and it's easy to go to pretty much everywhere for no money. I mean, dude, if you're in Bangkok and you're like, I really feel like going to Da Nang, Vietnam for lunch this afternoon,
dude,
even like hours before the flight leaves, no way are you spending even $100 on the one-way ticket each way. More likely, you're going to get a round-trip ticket for closer to like 60. Yeah, or like 100. At the end of the day, again, just think of U.S. money. So there's that, and there's that benefit. One thing go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I was going to say one of the big reasons why I chose Thailand is because it's the central hub for flying around Asia.
Yeah.
I want to travel, guys. I don't want to just stay in one place, whether it's Philippines or Thailand. Thailand has made it, in my opinion, the airport. I love the airport. I mean, honestly, I really do. I'm well versed on that airport now, and they've made it to where I can travel all over Southeast Asia on a moment's notice. The prices aren't jacked up crazy.
Yeah.
And passport, man, my passport is pretty full. I mean, I've been over to Europe, I've been all over South America, and now Asia, and it's exciting to be in Bangkok. And real quick, you guys, 411 this. I hate big cities, but I love Bangkok.
I have said that statement so many. I cannot believe I like Bangkok.
Yeah, I'm an LA guy. Matter of fact, if Kitty is still watching this, she might not want to be my Thai girlfriend after this. I actually am considering moving to Bangkok. I know. People are going, you have a condo in Jomtien. Yes, I have that condo till February. However, I am considering possibly moving my hub into Bangkok. So, and nothing is firm. I don't have to be. I can go anywhere I want.
Yeah.
This is what's beautiful about it. So, yeah, there you go. Love Bangkok. It's the hub of travel.
And there's so, like, in other words, what can't you get? Like, so for example, Gracie and I are back here in the U.S., okay? And there is nothing like Walmart, okay? I mean, you can go in there and get a garment for like $3. And people are like, oh, we shouldn't buy Chinese products. Well, how would you like to buy a T-shirt that was manufactured in Nebraska? It's going to be $27. So, at scale, so the point is that there's a lot of benefit to back here. I can order stuff on Amazon, of course, and have it delivered for free, and I can return it for free after using it for 30 days or whatever. But the point is that there's benefit here. But at the end of the day, you can absolutely get, quite frankly, everything in Bangkok. It's just you may pay a lot for it. You can get really, really awesome pizza in Bangkok, but it's like $45 for a really good pizza versus here where it's like $25. Okay. So
I had pizza tonight, buddy.
And it's, so you're in the Philippines. I have never had good pizza in the Philippines. Did you have good pizza?
It was actually pretty good. I was surprised.
Where was it from?
The team, the hotel I'm staying at, and I don't remember their pizza restaurant. So remember, I'm in a quote 5-star hotel here in the Philippines.
Yeah,
and they have a full-fledged pizza bistro.
They're going to be catering to foreigners. That's good.
Yeah, and they're very much catering to foreigners. It was Italian, and they used one of those stone ovens.
Nice.
And so, oh my gosh, love it.
Well, that's good. That's
does
good
that
to hear.
Does that make me want to choose the Philippines? The answer is no, but
sure.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation we're going to have here shortly, I'm sure.
The thing with Bangkok, right, is that, first of all, Bangkok is gigantic, okay? And there is the city of Bangkok, and then there's the province of Bangkok. And then, quite frankly, the way a lot of people refer to Bangkok is much outside of the province of Bangkok. We live in the province of Bangkok, but we live in the community, basically, of Bang Na. And there's multiple sort of districts. They refer to them as districts and sub-districts, okay? So there's going to be like Prakanong and there's other areas, and that will be sort of where more of the business area is, more to the city center in Bangkok. But I mean, one of the beauties is the public transportation, also the availability of Grab, as you mentioned. And there's 2 airports. Yeah, Suvarnabhumi is gargantuan. It's huge. It's very efficient. It's well run. Well, it's overstaffed, which I love.
My favorite airport.
And the other one, Dam Wang, which is arguably a little bit more local, right?
I
It's
just
a
flew
pretty
out of
decent.
that one.
Yeah.
That's the one I flew to get here.
I know what I wanted to ask you. What'd you pay for your flight? Who'd you fly? Cebu Pacific?
Okay, so and again, you guys check out my video. I got a whole video on who I flew with and all that kind of stuff, and the airport. So I flew with Air Asia, or Asia Air, excuse me, Asia Air.
Air Asia.
I got the ticket for 9,000 baht.
Round trip?
Yeah, round trip for 9,400 baht. I upgraded my seat to their
leg room
quote. Well, and it was the front of the plane, so I'm like, good. I'm gonna be in and out, boom, for 1,400 baht. So I'm like, is it worth it? To me, after flying business class, I'm thinking, shoot, anything's worth it.
Yeah, right.
And just so you guys know, this is the most jankiest aircraft I think I've ever been on. So I don't know if that's a normal thing. So Air Asia, there's no TV monitors.
Oh, no. This is
no service.
Budget. Super budget.
Very budget, no service. I'm like, can I have a glass of water? And the food cart's going past me. And I'm like, dude, I just need some water.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you need to take medicine?
$3.
Like, yeah, I need to take medicine. And they just gave it to me. And I'm like, cool. And I did. I actually took an anxiety pill because I hate flying.
Yeah.
And this airplane is dirty. Oh man, it was the filthiest airplane I've ever been on.
Wow.
Well, I fly it again. I have to because I go back to Bangkok in a couple of days.
So that's interesting.
I'll be flying on the.
It's a little
janky
high.
planes.
It's a little high, and I will tell you that one of the nice things about these airlines that are, they have no friggin' cash, is that for the most part they're leasing brand new aircraft. And so my experience on Air Asia is the planes have been fairly new, and but the staff is adequate. The customer service is horrible. But
staff is cute. They're good looking. I was like,
they all weigh 45 kilos.
Oh wait, yeah, it's a requirement, right? To weigh 47 kilos, and there you go.
Yeah.
So, hey, Mike, we only have really a half hour left. I really want to get into this pro and con.
Great.
And guys have heard sort of some of my stuff. I mean, and I've only been here a few times.
To the Philippines.
You've done this for 10 years. Yeah, but you've been traveling as an expat, kind of a lifestyle for 10 years. And I really want to hear, and I'm thinking my listeners want to hear, okay, Robbie, we kind of know yours. We see your channel. I want to know somebody with experience. Could you spend a couple minutes and give your experience, and we can kind of go back and forth? Is that cool?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd be honored.
Pros and cons. Let's do it.
Okay, so let's be clear. I've lived longer stretches in Thailand for sure. I have lived in the Philippines for the longest is probably about 2 months, almost 2 months. And I've experienced the Philippines in a way that a local would experience the Philippines. And so we have a house in Hamandan, which is a small town. Okay, so there's that little town. There's that little island, which is Boracay. Below that is Panay Island. It's a pretty large one. There's bigger cities in it, like Rojas, Calibo is in the north, and it used to be the main airport that you would go. The point is that we live in the province, and if you've heard that statement used for the Philippines, it simply means in like the village. You live in a farming sort of community. You live in a community that's mildly self-sufficient in the sense that they make their own rice, they have their own market, they grow their own chickens, that sort of thing. And, they have a mayor and that sort of thing. But, and again, it's not beachfront property. It is absolutely a Filipino community. And sometimes to the point where I get sometimes some stares when I walk down the street. They're like, wait a minute. And then when I started working on
bald guy.
Who's the bald guy?
He's the bald white guy.
Did he just jump in a bucket of bleach? Like, what the hell's wrong with him?
Look at that shirt, by the way.
And why is he working on his own car? That was another thing. Like, what the hell? The infrastructure comparison as far as pro con goes, you and I are online guys. We talked at length about you being able to have internet where you are right now, because I've been in the Philippines and I've also done live streams in the Philippines. They suck overall. Yeah. As mentioned before, internet wise, the Philippines is room to grow for sure. And overall, it's not reliable, nor is it fast, but it's cheap. Okay. The internet in Thailand is also cheap, but it's very reliable, and it is everywhere, and it is fast.
Love
And
it.
I'm talking about, I've been in the province in Thailand, and I lived on this farm, and I could like sit there at the farm and look up at the mountain and see the cell tower. And I would do like a speed test. And this was when LTE, there was no 5G yet. But, you're getting like 35, 40 megabits down, and I'm looking out, and there's like chickens running all over the place, next to the mango trees.
Yeah.
That doesn't occur in the Philippines. Now, the last time I was in the Philippines, my phone absolutely said 5G. But if you know anything about cellular service, you know that as the carrier, you can inject any data you want on that person's phone. And I would do it. It was not the 5G protocol.
Perception, baby. It's
It was the
perception, man.
It was total perception, which is sadly their reality.
Yeah, that's right. If I'm perceived, I'm going to get 5G.
Then I'm
going to pay I think I have 5G, which is wrong. But anyways, continue on.
But it was decent enough. And again, I'm in the middle of nowhere. So again, they have room to grow, and they're growing. The education system in both countries compared to the U.S. You got to remember, I grew up in Boston. Both of my parents worked at schools. My dad almost finished his PhD. They have masters. He taught at a university. I gratefully have a master's. Robbie's also very educated, so I would submit that his bar is, similar to mine. And, look at the top university in Thailand is not even the top 500 globally. Actually, it's like 493 or something. And so the universities over there they're not world class, okay? But locally, they're pretty decent, and there's like 4 or 5 really good universities in Bangkok. The Philippines, I have yet to find a university that has any degree of global respect. Which is really too bad. I was talking with Gracie about this, and their leadership, now their president, I was incorrect about this. I stated this a couple times. I thought it was their president, but no, unfortunately, it's the Senate. They believe that they should roll back the high school graduation time. Right now, you go to high school, you go through until you're 18 years old, and then you graduate from high school. Very common in the world, necessary to apply to any college with any degree of competency. They want to roll it back to 16 so that you graduate from high school when you're 16. And as far as I'm concerned, that is one of the worst things you could absolutely do for a country is limit their education.
Yeah, and that you mentioned that, I was told Thailand went the other way around. They actually now, you're all the way till you're 18. And it was 16 when Kitty went to school.
Yeah, correct. Yes, years ago. And they've ramped it up. Now, they don't have anything sort of super sophisticated as far as the graduation test goes, like they do in Europe and then others, which is the baccalaureate, right? Which you take a pretty stressful exam to get out of high school. And in the U.S., obviously, it depends what public high school you go to. Private high schools, in general, arguably, yes, they're better. Okay. But the education system over there is better in Thailand, in my experience. And I worked at a university for 15 years. I worked in higher education, so I believe my ability to judge it is fairly well educated. The ability to make money in either country, it's more available in Thailand. And let me first say that I'm talking about, if you are Thai and you're working in Thailand, the unemployment rate is very low. Before COVID,
that's true.
It was less than 1%. It was 0.7% unemployment, which basically means every single person that was wanting to work was working. In the Philippines, it's very high. They have far too many people to do the necessary jobs everywhere, which is great if you're hiring someone because you got a line of people lining up, usually with bachelor's degrees. Now, a lot of times these bachelor's degrees are from the Philippines. So if you're from the U.S., the bar is a little bit different. But here's one final thing I will say. In my experience with interfacing with the Filipinos versus the Thais, both of them, I experienced them having a belief that they couldn't do exactly what they wanted. I'll give you an example of what I mean by this. But there was more of a lack of things in the Philippines. Okay. And that, again, look, in the Depression in the United States, there was a lack of things.
Lots of things.
I grew up in some areas for sure. I grew up with the belief and the teaching that if you have enough resources, you could literally do anything you want. You may not be able to go to the moon, but if you get a team full of 1,700 people and you get a supercomputer from, Seymour Cray, he donates the thing, and then you call up Elon Musk, you're like, dude, you get a rocket from him, you get it done. So like there's possibility. And I will say that after traveling internationally, the whole land of opportunity label, that's absolutely true for the United States. There's infinitely more opportunity here. I also believe that the attitude in Thailand is a little bit higher as far as if I have the right resources, I can do it. But in the Philippines, I was very saddened that the average person that I would speak with would have this attitude. No, I can't do. Oh, no, I could never do that. Or we don't have the money for it. Okay, I get it. You don't have the money for it.
Man, this is such great input because this is a conversation I had with my young Philippine team today.
Yeah, okay.
Over pizza dinner, and they are talking about if you don't have a college degree, you're not even going to get a job.
So yeah, that's true. And just to be clear, guys, what he's talking about is like just a job. Like, in other words, I grew up in the U.S. and it was kind of like, okay, if I get a high school diploma, I can work at McDonald's. Okay, I could get like in the Philippines, if you want to work at a little kiosk in a mall and handle money, you have to have a bachelor's degree.
That's correct. And interesting, as the Philippine group, we're talking about jobs and wages. And this is super important. The Philippine minimum wage for Manila, we're talking the city where you make more money. And Mike, I mean, this is something I confirmed today, and I'm just blown away, is 7,500 pesos a month. This is mind-boggling.
What, minimum wage?
Yes, for Manila.
Okay.
So it really threw me out because, I mean, you can do the conversion ratio at 52 to whatever, 50 you said. And this is what people are living on. And so when Mike mentioned how people kind of give up, I mean,
sure,
I'm very grateful the team I have, you know, and I pay them well. I pay them double minimum wage essentially. And it's not a lot of money, guys, but money's different. So
current exchange rate, 7,500 pesos is 134 US dollars. And
crazy.
Yeah, and here's the way that I described it. So imagine that we lose the label of dollars, pesos, baht, or whatever, okay? We talk about units. So let's say we just talk about like currency units, okay? So if you have 1 unit here in the United States, you can buy, if you have 2 units, you can go to a 7-Eleven, you can buy a Diet Coke, okay? And for the sake of argument, if you and I were making, let's say we were making 15,000 units per month, okay, here in the United States.
A lot of Diet Cokes, buddy.
A lot of Diet Cokes. We would probably be pretty comfortable with 15,000 units a month. We would be pretty comfortable spending 3,000, 4,000, maybe even 5,000 of those units on our rent, whether that's your mortgage, but your living kind of thing.
Okay.
And if you had to,
is that what you're...
Sorry?
A third?
Yeah, basically, yeah, for the sake of argument, right? But that wouldn't be a lot. Okay, so in the Philippines, if you're making 15,000 units a month, you cannot find a place to live by yourself that is safe, clean, new, great. 5,000 units per month of that currency buys a significant amount more here in the United States. 5,000 pesos, okay, there per month does not get you a very nice place. Okay, that's super safe. You usually got to share it with somebody else. My point is that not only are you going to just like make more money, your costs of life, as we talked about in the last video, are going to be significantly higher. So you're making like 15,000 pesos and your rent is like 8,000 pesos. That's insane. Okay. Now dial that back to what Robbie is talking about, 7,500. If you're making 7,500 units a month here in the U.S., you're like, okay, I can afford 2,000, 3,000 of those units per month for a one. If I live downtown San Diego, like right on the beach, whatever. Okay, that's 3,000 of those. Okay, per month.
Right.
If you're making 7,500 in the local currency in the Philippines, it is difficult to find a nice, comfortable, as we would label it. I would just say, because again, I'm looking through my lenses, my glasses.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a bummer in the rest of the world. But we're talking to a lot of people that are like us. And so therefore, if you've been making United States dollar units, okay, and then you go into another country where basically the cost of living compared to what we're used to is significantly less, then it's the infamous 2-week millionaire, right? You can have. So that is actually a pro of being outside of our first world countries, of our overdeveloped
Absolutely.
countries, compared to the
Yeah.
the emerging nations kind of thing. So that's a nice thing. But I also will say that for, let's say for the sake of argument, $50 US, you take that and you want to stay in an Airbnb or a hotel or something like that in the major, most popular, arguably expensive areas. For that money, I believe you get more for your money in Bangkok if we're comparing Bangkok to Manila.
Yes.
You get more for your money if we're comparing Phuket to Boracay. You have to pay more to get less in the Philippines for a lot of
Wow.
accommodations.
Thank you for that insight.
Well, because
That's great
you're
insight.
spending how much for your hotel room? $75 a night?
Yeah, about $75 a night, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Maybe a
75.
little bit less. Yeah,
Okay, so let's say 70. So basically, that's that's 4,000 pesos, right? But if you convert that to Thai baht, that is 70. That's 2,500 Thai baht. 2,500 Thai baht will get you a very comfortable place to stay for the night on Sukhumvit near a soak.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the beach in Pattaya, man.
On the beach. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, because, dude, okay, so where Robbie lives is arguably one of the newest, best condo complexes in all of Pattaya, in all of the Chonburi province. And my hotel blocks his view to the beach, and he stayed in that place too. But basically, it's between him and the beach. So I'm like, physically closer. It's a much older building. It doesn't have the quality or this. But the point is that I'm like, 27 stories up, and I was paying $30 a night for that. Okay,
amazing.
So the ROI, or ROE, quite frankly, the return on your energy, that you're getting from, I believe, is better in Thailand. I also believe it's better in Vietnam than it is in the Philippines.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
Again,
I love how you're taking this list here, because I did the same thing with the 4 countries, a pecking order, and I have yet to visit Vietnam and Cambodia, which I will be, and I will be doing YouTube exploring that.
Vietnam
as well.
I don't know about you, but whenever I went to these countries for the first time, the short answer is it was a surprise. I had no idea this was I had no idea I could buy a freaking Bentley on the 6th floor of this mall that is packed with people in the middle of a major city. I had no idea.
You're talking in Bangkok now,
I'm talking in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Again, the world's biggest mall, I guess, is the Mall of Asia, right, which is in Manila. But I would submit to you that all they do is they have repetitive stuff. So in other words, like there's pizza every seven shops. There's T-shirts every 7 shops. There's vitamins every 9. So it's not like there's a whole lot of variety. Arguably, the malls in Thailand that are gargantuan, there's not a whole lot in there for me either. I'm not about to buy a Gucci purse, and neither, Gracie's like, come on, we could buy a friggin', we could rent a car for a month and go on a road trip. I don't need a purse, So the other thing I will say is that you got to have a different look on this. And if you are coming from Pismo Beach or San Diego and you're like, I'm going to take everything that I have here and I'm going to move it to Bangkok, and oh my God, these guys tell me I can live, it's going to be more expensive. Robbie's car in Bangkok is either 2 or 3 times more expensive than what he pays in the U.S. for that. The gasoline is about the same. But if you want a...
the ultimate driving machine, man. Come on, it's a BMW.
Well, just ask them, right? But you ask anyone who's German, and they're like, no, we drive Mercedes, dude. Or Porsches. But you can absolutely spend more money in Bangkok to live than you would in San Diego or Pismo Beach if you want to do the exact same thing. But I would submit that at least many guys that are very similar to us, we don't want to do the same thing. It's neat to live out of a backpack. I don't need 17 pieces of luggage anymore. I don't need a BMW, and I don't need a backup Honda because, of course, that's a reliable car, and I'm going to need to take my, And Mariano drives an Audi, and I forgot about biggest manufacturer in the world, right? Is Volkswagen.
Boom, Audi.
So absolutely. Hello, Robert. Good to see you. Thank you. I want to thank all of you guys for coming by. I really appreciate this. So anyway, that's sort of my pro-con thing. At the end of the day, if you need a summary, I would say Thailand beats the Philippines for my way of life and my opportunities. There's also there's a larger startup community and ecosystem that is in Thailand than is in the Philippines. but it's not Singapore.
Yeah.
But you can fly to
the-
Singapore very easily from Bangkok and have like
but-
8 to 10 times the meetings with people. So
Yeah. So speaking of startup communities, this comment right here, startup community. If you want to come to Thailand, check this out. If you want 100 girlfriends, go to Thailand. If you want one wife, go to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Hello, Kitty.
Hello, Kitty.
I think this comment was awesome. And
Yeah.
you guys, I'm going to be so frank and real with you. My channel really caters to those guys who are going through their potential midlife crisis. And thanks, Roof Pizza, for really putting it out there, because 100 Thai girls is super attractive. Let's not BS you. I went out to Thailand knowing, okay, there's going to be 100 Thai girls, and they're gorgeous, beautiful. Not to say that there isn't beautiful women here in Philippines, and you might find that person that you want to be with. In my case, I have my Thai girlfriend in Kitty, so that's where that Hello Kitty comes from. But I really like the if you want 100 Thai girlfriends, come to Thailand. So for me, I didn't choose Thailand because of the hot girls. It was a reason why
That's a
I came
factor.
here.
Sure. Yeah.
It is a high factor, and we're not here to BS you or anything like that. We're here just to be real with you, give you guys input from my point of view, which is pretty much on the way there, to Mike's 10 years plus experience. And I love these comments lurking from the start.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's Chris down in Australia. Yeah.
Love that stuff. So you guys keep up with the comments. We really appreciate it. We only got about 10 minutes left into this live stream, and I'm really hoping you guys are getting something out of it. Again, this is the kind of compare why we chose Thailand over the Philippines. I'm in Philippines right now for another trip. I do business here. I probably wouldn't live here for the simple reason is my lifestyle fits the Thailand way with the hub of Bangkok. Anything you want, high-speed internet everywhere you go. Even though the English-speaking people here do a great job here in the Philippines, in Thailand, I'll be honest with you, I love the Buddhist tradition. And I'm not Buddhist, guys. I'm like whatever, right? It blows me away of kindness and gratitude.
Yeah.
People in Thailand are it's so beautiful.
It's a lot more gratitude.
Oh my gosh. It actually gets my heart when I'm watching people. Why? And I'm like, and they're doing that to me, and I'm thinking, whoa, this is amazing. And it blows me away. So my reasons for choosing Thailand, similar to Mike's, love the infrastructure, love the gratitude of the people and the humanness.
Yeah.
We're not just a bunch of dudes going out there to try and bang chicks. Okay. I mean, it's not it. We like to have fun. So you can watch Mike's channel and see interview with the lady boy. Freaking awesome. Boom, boom, boom.
I still need to do that, don't I?
You have the one. We did the one.
Oh, yeah. The
interview.
one, our live stream. Yeah.
So you guys, when you go to my channel, you'll notice my top video is
Soy 6-1.
Soy 6-1 with Mike, by the way.
Yeah.
Top video, 36,000
views. Probably my commentary that really drew on the listeners.
Man, I have no idea. It's my top video. And guess what? We didn't find one lady boy. So hands down for me, it is Thailand, whether it's Bangkok, Jomtien, or Roai, which I extremely love. Probably not the Roai because I don't like all the touristy. I already live in that Pismo Beach.
Right.
And we're going to be continuing this in 2 weeks. I think next week, I'm not sure. We're going to be talking about our next show.
Yep.
But are we doing the transition? It's coming up to our 8 o'clock in the morning Bangkok time. So the show is going to change, and it's going to be like that for now on.
Yeah. So, but next week, actually, we're going to be on hiatus, right? Because there's going to be some travel days and that sort of thing that fall right into the time, regardless of whether we moved to 12 hours or not. But like I said, guys, like we both said, we love doing this. And for certain, right now, we're absolutely doing it for the love of the craft, right? But one of the things that I wanted to make sure is that you have our contact info. Mike's at bkk.fm, or you could also email me at Mike's at the Spot. You could also email Robbie at, let me hide that. Yeah. So Robbie at the spot.fm or Mike's at the spot.fm or walkinginmyshoes2020 @gmail. The bottom line is that either get a hold of us, individually or whatever. Thank you so much for all of the chat, the input, as well as the questions. And
And
I think,
don't stop traveling. Don't stop finding.
That's the
Don't
thing.
stop finding the place. Go many places, guys.
Search
I'm
it
not
out,
done.
guys.
I am not done. I'm going to come to Bangkok, and it is my hub. I'm going to Vietnam. I come back to Thailand in November, and I have Vietnam and I think Philippines in November for a week. I go to Vietnam, I believe, in December.
Okay.
Philippines in February or January, and then Cambodia somewhere is squeezed between all that stuff. I'm going to have it all on YouTube. I'm going to have all these different things. I definitely want you to tune in and check it out. And by the way, I'm shooting a special video tomorrow. I am trying balut for the first time. I'm being convinced to try it, and I'm freaking out. If you don't know what it is, Google it. I am freaking out right now that these young people in my team have said, "Oh, balut." I'm like,
so if you guys don't know what that is, it's a live bird inside of an egg.
Why don't you tell us, Mike? We got 4 minutes. Go for it.
I'm not understanding. But to be fair, okay, so they eat like bugs, right, in Thailand because of the protein they believe is in them. And people also make flour out of crickets, whatever. But the balut thing, I've never really kind of bought in on that. I know more Filipinos that don't like it versus ones that do. But again, it's one of those. And to be fair, if you're a YouTuber in Southeast Asia, then you have to do a couple of things. You have to do a cost of living video. You have to do, if you're in the Philippines.
Which I did.
Yes. You have to do a balut video. You have to do a beach video, several of them, walk and talks. I mean, it's just what's done. And but it will be really interesting to see your experience. I completely agree with your assessment of that, Chris. It is just not. I don't see any value. It was different.
Makes very good fodder.
Yeah, I guess.
YouTube.
Yeah,
good YouTube.
So I would argue that this is actually a pretty Sisig. Yeah. It's a again there's. Oh, that's the other thing too, as far as pro con. I would submit that overall the food in Thailand's better. And
oh my gosh,
the food that you can get on the sidewalk in Bangkok is some of the best food you'll have in the entire world, and it's trustworthy. Both Gracie and I have eaten on the sidewalk in like Mactan, for example, and we both ended up in the hospital.
We didn't even talk food. I got to be honest with you guys. I've had the best food on my last couple of travels to Thailand. Here in the Philippines have been amazing. But in Thailand, I've gone with Roger to get food recently. We went to a Mexican restaurant, I think called the Taco House or Taco Shack right there in Pattaya.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mexican food. And it was freaking epic. And Roger, I know you're on. Hopefully you're feeling great and nodding your head right now. If you want to chime in the chat, because you say no balut, but the Taco House, amazing, love it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a sponsor of us. I'm going to get them to sponsor.
They should be actually, because I need a burrito big time when I head back there.
Mike, it was like San Diego style beans, rice, tacos, and the quesadilla with real sour. You guys, the food in Thailand. And it's cheap.
Yeah,
it is
cheap.
so
$2-3. Yeah, you can eat for no money.
And it is proper. Yeah, I like this next comment. When you get sick in Thailand, for restaurants, not the food carts.
Isn't that crazy? Gracie and I say the same thing. Every time we spend over 300 baht for an individual like entree at a restaurant, it's never as good and it's too expensive, so we're distracted. And it's the only time we've ever gotten sick. I've never gotten sick by the guy down on the beach or down in the. It's great. The food carts, I love them.
So, Mike, did you see that video of me eating that squid?
No, is that a recent? I must be like way behind because you are talking about videos that I haven't seen. I mean, because I saw. What was the most recent one I saw?
Real quick, a couple of videos back, I think about a week ago, I ate one of those moving squids you have to catch with the net.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you eat it as it's moving, and it inked the guy, and the ink shoots out, and it's all over my face. It's all over him. and I pretty much vomited right in front of you guys on YouTube. You can go check it out. I'm having Balut this next week. So the experience of travel, of living your best life, of go where you're treated best, because if you're not living.
Agreed.
And Mike?
You know, I mean, look, guys, at the end of the day, like I say it, and it's not just like a T-shirt slogan or whatever. It's like, you know, I really hope you're living the dream. Because if you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong. And I can say that because I have done it wrong. And with that, okay, well, should we high five? This is like, we're really going to figure this out. Boom. How you doing there? Look at that.
Boom.
High tech, guys. Anyway, with that, it's Mike
watching.
from LiveMyAssOff.com, along with my very, very good friend and co-host, ladies and gentlemen.
Robbie from Walking in Her Shoes.
Saying, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Yeah. We will talk to you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.